because there are so many in my confusion, the tangible form of my great love. Oxochrome, chromophore, Diego, she who wears the color, he who sees the color since the year 1922. Until always and forever, now in 1944, after all the hours lived through, the vectors continue in their original direction. Nothing stops them, with no more knowledge than live emotion, with no other wish than to go on until they meet, slowly, with great unease, but with the certainty that all is guided by the golden section. There is cellular arrangement, there is movement, there is light. All centers are the same. Folly doesn't exist. We are the same as we were and as we will be, not counting on idiotic destiny.
Hello, everyone. Yep, that was a smooth transition right there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cali Cocktail. Sorry, let me prune my feathers here. Cali Cocktail Social Hour. And, oh, shoot. It is dark in here. I can't see my Cali Cocktail. Welcome once again. We have some great guests today. Leela, who was here once before back in the day when we started. And she's a great maker of masks and artist. And of course, we have Funky Chicken, Funky Ass Chicken. I forgot. Melissa Purnell. You know, everybody always talks about her. Yeah, I know. She's so funny and she's so great. Yeah, cheers. I can see them laughing in the background, so that's the good part. So, I like to thank everybody for coming. And I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and I'll talk to Melissa a little bit about how we're gonna think about coming on, not coming on, and but I think that it's a time that we all I know that we all had our say. We all have our say too, and take a time out just from the whole everything in the world, and let's take a deep breath and let's get centered, and we can go back in an hour and a half to everything. So you keep hearing those noises, but I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight, and I need you as much as I need you tonight, and I need everybody tonight because we need some good energy tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to play a song, and then we'll come back with Melissa Funky Chicken Purnell. That's her name, right? Right? Yes. So I get the backstage. So the song is called Let's Talk, because we are going to talk. So we'll come afterwards.
Never can say I know well that we should be alone. Cause better when I'm with you. Never can say I know well that we should be alone. Cause better when I'm with you. Never can say I know well that we should be alone. Cause better when I'm with you. Never can say I know well that we should be alone. Cause better when I'm with you. Why don't we talk about it? Why don't we talk about it? Why don't we talk about it?
Welcome, everyone. Saludos. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Chris.
We should be alone. 'Cause better when I'm with you.
Pumpkin is dancing around. The song's called Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about it.
Meow.
Come on.
Let's meow about it.
Cheers, everybody. Hola. We got a hola here. Welcome everybody to Sacramento and Cali Cocktail Social Hour. Feelings, fantastic feelings on Friday with Melissa, Funky Chicken now, and Leela coming up soon. That's it. It's supposed to stop. Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay. Thank you. Sometimes that happens when I don't have a technician helping me out. So anyways, thank you for coming out. We love you and we will always love you. And that's a song, I think, but we do. Mucho amor, everybody, to everyone out there. And up next, it is Melissa Purnell, everybody.
Hi,
Hola.
guys.
How's it
Hola,
going?
hola. It's good. It's good. I actually left the door open so my cats could come in and out today. So there's going to be a couple guest kitty appearances, which
Well,
they're really happy about.
Pumpkin's pretty, pretty
He's,
danceable
act-
there.
he's acting very chill, but he's kind of a neurotic cat. Like he's a little bit nuts. And tonight he's just very laid back. So I don't know. Maybe it's the music.
He's feeling the vibe, yeah.
I have headphones in, so I don't know.
So let's
But
say our hellos to everybody. Ready?
hi. Ready, set. Hi, guys.
Pumpkin says saludos. I mean, saludos to you, Serge.
Hello, Serge and Lisa and Chris. Hi, Chris. I like that Chris always joins us. And Elba. Hi, guys. Colleen. Yay. Is it Colleen or Colleen? Remember?
That's right. I forgot. But
I'll say it. Colleen, and Leela.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I look forward to this, and I have hair all over my face now. But yeah, it's just a nice little warm, like, I think this is part of why, you kind of alluded to this, that we are very much aware of like the heaviness in the air right now in our culture and in our world. And part of me and I'll speak for myself. It was like, is this something like maybe we shouldn't do the show tonight because there's just a lot of we don't want to be tone deaf. That was basically it, and like be silly and talk about gratitude. But Ruben and I talked about it, right? We talked about it, and that I think that it's really, really important to still show up, even if it's imperfectly, and not necessarily have a commentary on what's going on, because I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say that I think love is very important right now. Gratitude is always very important, and I would rather show up and be sort of in this warm container that this show always is, and be here for you guys too, and Ruben, than not. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. And Ruben, I know there's like a lot of tech stuff that's going on over there, but you do a great job of juggling all of it. So seriously, like
Yeah,
I don't
thank
even
you.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So it's all under the feathers, so they say. All under the feathers. So, how you been this week? besides all the heaviness in the world. Yeah. I mean, everything kind of, is piling on top of each other, and it's I know that we talked about it today, and and I think that we're very compassionate people, and we want to make sure that we do it right, and I think that's kind of what I got out of it when I was talking to you, because I know I was conflicted too. Like I was like, I even texted you. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And so and I made my statements, and I'm making some artwork and stuff like that. But I think, like I said, sometimes you have to take a deep breath and just let everything go for even if it's for an hour or two, and then come back, because it's things are always going to be there. So, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking about yeah, no, I'm glad that we're here, and ultimately, I'm not, once again, gonna offer like a commentary or like a, I feel like we're in it as a culture. We're kind of like in this moment that is not new and is not over, and while we're in it, it's sort of like, yeah, there's a lot of really dark stuff happening, and we need to pay attention to it. And like always, there's also beautiful stuff too. And it's okay to take a moment to talk about that and shine a light on that. And, here's my cat. He's going to help us. He's all about being in the show tonight. This is part of why I keep the door closed.
Pumpkin's going to be a star.
Pumpkin,
right?
it's your big break.
And
He's
we're
always
also
in.
we're also going to be celebrating Leela's birthday too, in a way. So that's coming up too. So yeah. So I'm glad that everybody's here, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we talked today, and I feel good, and I feel happy. I mean, as happy as can be. So and I feel good being here,
Yeah.
and I feel good that everybody's here, and seeing everybody makes me happy. So, and I hope that everybody can feel the same, if only for a moment in time. Then we are here for you. We're always here for you. So, if you want to talk about anything, we talk about, type it in, text it. I mean, type it in. We'll talk about anything. So we're not going to keep anything off the agenda. But we are here to celebrate. I mean, to think about some of the stuff during quarantine. I know that for me, I've had, what has gotten to me is actually a lot of clarity in my head, and actually a needed rest on my body and my mind from work, and I know that at some point you got to go back and start thinking about all this stuff, but, I've never had this much time in my life off, or 20, 30 years almost, so the most I ever had was really 3 weeks, about 16 years ago. Besides that, it's always been, if I go to Oaxaca, it's always 10 days. So, it's always like, so this is kind of new to me. And so, I have to embrace that as much as I can and enjoy it, that, it's kind of a healing process too. And I know that, luckily I have my girlfriend, Melissa, that she understands me, and it's great. And I, it's one of those times where you have to also be with your own thoughts too, because sometimes you have, and that's something you have to deal with, and I think, I just learned myself. So, but Pumpkin, shut off your mic.
No, I was clearing my throat.
I was like, Pumpkin, it's like,
no, I can't blame him that time. I was going, ugh. What's funny is when we were starting and it was just you in the studio, I kept clearing my throat because I have just like frog in my throat.
oh,
And you said something like, I'm hearing those noises. And I thought you meant my noises. So I was like, I think you were talking, like, making a figure of speech, I think, right?
yeah. I thought they were chicken gas under a suit. So I was like, I didn't want to say anything. So
Well, there's that too.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that I mean that's cool. So as you talk about, this break that you've had, and really, like, that's a great example of what we're kind of talking about tonight, is finding the silver linings, right? I look at it as like, life is, it's kind of like you're in this big dark cave, and this is like what our thoughts do, and you have to like take this with a grain of salt, because well, after I say it, you'll get it. But there is some really terrifying and scary and disgusting and like tragic stuff in that cave that you could shine your light on. And it's important to do that, right? And it's where we need to like show up for each other, or we need to be awake to fix things. And it's also okay to take that flashlight, Pumpkin, come on, oh my God, take that flashlight and shine it on another part of the cave where there might be some really beautiful foliage and flowers and like gorgeous waterfall, and that's in the cave too. And they're both there, and you're not denying the existence of either. It's sort of just, what are we giving our attention to, and recognizing. So I guess I'm just bringing this back to, you got a really long break, And you could be like, you know, and it's not your fault to fall into a depression. That can happen, but it's like, it could be this really debilitating, what do I do with myself? This sucks, like dark thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you can look at it like you're looking at it and see some real healing. Hi, Raquel.
There we go.
And
Sorry, I was like interrupt. I'm like
I
went
know.
up back. Hi, Raquel.
Well, it's okay. I got to say
Yeah.
hi to Raquel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and also to Ruben, I'd say we all have our moments. Like, I think you and I both can probably talk about a lot of the blessings that we'll talk about tonight,
Yeah.
whatever words you want to use, and be like, but I'm not always grateful for them. Sometimes I am just like really messed up and dark, and that's okay too, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, just seeing it, and I get, I don't know, it's just maybe because that's all you have to do now is see what's online, or you know, like you see people progress, you see people ask for help, you see, you know, what I mean, it's different now, but it's a good different too, and you know, I was able to, you know, do this show, and you know, we got together, and this is part of what happened during that time. You know, I haven't really, I mean, I've done some artwork, but I really, my energy is concentrated on here. You know, I get focused. So
Yeah.
my focus changes into this, and you know, I you know, and so this is great, and to me, there is a lot of grateful things, you know, and I don't want to minimize everybody else's pain, you know, for taking that. Was that another release? Yes.
I'm digging
So,
for clams over here. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I was outside and it was really windy, so I
yeah,
inhaled some sort of disgusting, yeah.
yeah, and you know,
Oh,
and watching and you know, seeing Leela, you know, like I said, make masks, and everybody, you know, I have another friend Sarah who's making a mask, and you know, and Leela seeing make all these masks and everything. You know, step up, right? You step up for society, you step up for what's needed, and this time was needed was mask, was, you know, like, so we
yeah.
as we're transitioning to different needs, you know, that becomes a something that, you know, we can pivot to, you know, but we do need to take a step back just for a second, you know, so
Yeah.
uh,
You know what's cool too? I don't know if anybody knows
hold
this.
on,
Oh, you want to read
someone's
that
loving
one?
me. I can't read it. What does it say?
I think you can read it. I think you know what that is. I think you can read it.
Anyways, love you too, Esther.
Wait, let me read it. I
Okay.
love you, Ruben. I don't actually know how to say your name.
Bresenio
Okay. Oh,
Reveles.
I really screwed
It's
it up
okay.
on the podcast. I'm sorry.
Oh, you said Bresenio? It's okay.
I think that's what I
Um,
said.
No, and we appreciate everybody coming here, you know, and you know,
Me
that's the
too.
best part about it. It's the
Yeah.
exchange of energies, and you know, like you said, you know, we're gonna go with this again, but I do believe everything starts with energy, and everybody putting it out, bringing it back in. You can feel it, you know, you can feel it. It's the energy going in and out. I know that it's virtual, but you can still feel it, right? You can see people project. You can still, you know, grow, and I think this is what the beauty of, you know, and I'm gonna say I am so glad you're my co-host on Fridays, not on Mondays, but Fridays.
Oh yeah, Mondays would be terrible.
I know Melissa Monday. Melissa Monday is not a good. No, kidding.
No, I'm
Uh,
like completely.
she has a duck outfit, and the duck is not as good as a chicken, by the way.
The duck is very serious, very like type A, just like.
Yeah.
No, what I was gonna say is
Hello,
I
Matt.
think.
Sorry.
Okay. Hi, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to say hi to Matt. Yeah, the thing that we're doing right here is a really cool thing that I'm grateful for too, because it's like this thing that is just so free spirited and, dare I say, pointless. And I say that very lovingly. I mean, no one's expecting it, although I hope that you guys are kind of expecting it by now. No one's like show up at 9 o'clock and just like a chicken. And here's the reason. Look, I made a list of like accomplishments that it's like, we're just doing it because it was fun, and it's ended up cultivating new friendships. Like, I've made friends with some of your friends and connected with people that you know, and gotten closer with you, Ruben, and really just had like this cool. It's not over. I feel like I'm making like a speech right before we stop doing this, but it's just been neat. It's like, this is something I'm really grateful for, is these Friday nights and all of you guys. So, this is a perfect place for an introvert to hang out. Totally, totally is. And interact with us if you feel like it. Which, by the way, you guys, I'm going to keep saying this. What we're talking about is gratitude and what we found to be grateful for. So we'd love to hear if you've had something in your life that's turned out to be a really cool thing to come out of quarantine, pandemic, or as always, as Ruben said, whatever's happening, we want to hear about that. So that's the best part of the show to me, is that you guys actually talk to us and share how you're feeling. And yeah, so
Hi,
love you
Piag.
guys. Hi, Piag.
How you doing? So, so we're gonna play a song. Play a song. We're gonna come back with Leela right now. So, we set the, the tone is, what have you discovered during this pandemic? What is, what is the silver lining, right? How we say?
Yeah, it's like what unexpected gift have you found during this time in quarantine, during the pandemic? It could be personal, it could be something you've noticed in your neighborhood, in the world. It could be anything. It's basically just saying like there is a lot of suffering in the world in general. There always is, but especially right now. And also I would love to hear like what's good and what's good with you personally. So I think that would be a really cool topic.
Yeah. So Leela, she loved, Emily was awesome last week, by the way, too. And I'm glad that, I got to know her. Maybe she'll do some English trivia for us one time, so we can go over and see how, test our American knowledge on other cultures.
I know.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to play a song, and this is a little treat for both of you. You guys don't know what's happening right now, but I want you to, oops, sorry. Let me see. Let me grab this one. Tell me, which one is you? Which one are you? Any clue?
Wait, about the song?
Yeah, about what's going to happen right now.
There's two kinds of
It's
people.
it's kind of a trivia.
Which one are you?
Yeah.
You're either this or you're that. So it's a song talking about it's. Wait, I was gonna say black or white, but that is not the song you're playing.
Which one are you?
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants some. Think I got what you need, well I have none. Hop off, you're a freak and handsome. Slide up in the club.
Which
like
one are you?
cocaine.
Which number?
This snake is on top of the food chain. Sign out like a star, no new name. All these rats on my DMs, no message back.
This is the lead. This is a kind of a trivia.
Okay.
How did you find this footage of me, Ruben? I thought this was hidden.
It's not me.
Welcome everybody.
This is the mood.
I don't know.
How did you find this? Leela?
Sonia.
Oh shit. Oh, that's me.
Got some flair, some purple.
Oh yeah.
All these chickens, all these mamas begging me for
I heard all these
protection.
chickens. Maybe that was me.
That's me right there. Hermano Escobar.
They're all so good. It's like
Oh yeah. That's,
We need comments, everybody. Which one are you?
I
Kim.
forgot what number mine was. Wait. Number 3, I think.
I think you were 3.
Yeah.
That's number 5 for sure. I can see Matt be number 5.
Yeah, Maddie.
Oh no, here's Maddie right here. Jaco Schlin. Melissa, you got to pronounce the names because.
That actually
Jaco.
reminds me of a friend that used to dance like that in college.
Oh my god, what was that move? That was cool.
Uh-oh, that's me.
Oh boy. Oh, a little shimmy shake.
I can see this being Ruben. Shimmy shimmery. Dagmar. I just feel like German.
I love these costumes. Look at these outfits. That's so great. Like, is that the new trend?
Epic. I feel like she left a little something to be desired.
Yeah,
We've seen
someone's
some crazy
running.
dancing.
Yeah. Aw.
Classic.
She's cute.
She is cute. I feel like I need to pick someone because I'm going to run out of people. So maybe her. Oh no, it's him. That's me.
There you go. Oh, snap.
This is not the original song, is it?
No. Hold on, this is me right here.
Get it, Ruben. Get
Actually,
it,
this.
Okay, I have to make a TikTok later with exactly these moves.
Here's this one here. That's Leela right there. After a couple
I could
drinks.
probably actually do that.
She's like, that actually is me.
That is
I
me.
can legit do that. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Oh, I wish I could do that.
just a little tummy ache, just a little one. That was
And that was it.
amazing.
so that was the treat that I,
Aw. It's all downhill
I-
from there.
I really put a lot of effort into looking for something to do some sort of trivia. So, anyways, welcome,
Oh, that was
Leela.
perfect. Good job.
And then before we go, we have a question, or before we go back.
Oh, okay. Gratitude. What Maddie says, what I've been grateful for is how many of my friends and family who've reached out and offered support and kind words during some trying times. Now being humble and letting people know how I'm feeling when people ask. I'm guessing you like that really helps, right? Like being open and real, which you totally are. How many people share what they're struggling with once I share with them? And I'm the guy in the white suit. You're the John Travolta like character.
That's great.
You're good at that, Maddie. I feel like you are someone that, just at least every week here, like you're always, being honest and that's how vulnerability works, you guys. Anyone who's like, oh, I can't tell anyone that I'm feeling down because what if they think it's weird? It's like as soon as you do that, as long as it's with like a good person, that's a little caveat. But and they're gonna share with you, and it's just this beautiful, beautiful thing.
So, Colleen led all the dancers, and I think Matt was, Fred Klerkenberger.
I think
Klerkenberger.
I think he's making up words, you guys.
Yeah.
Klickenberger.
Anyways, well, I'm glad that you like that segment. I try to throw little surprises out, so I don't try to show anybody anything, but it took me a little bit to put the music, find a song, and
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
So, yes, it took me a while.
Well
So
done.
anyways, so Leela, that was your birthday present slash
Yay, thank you.
my version of what was it called? Trivia. That's right. So,
Leela, is your birthday tomorrow?
No, Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, so that is the 31st?
The 31st.
hi, Kelly. Sorry. And
Two.
there's a lot of cool people born in May. Buddha was one of them too.
So many cool people
me
born
too.
in May.
That's
my
right.
son's birthday was in May. So we're both.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I'm serious. Cool people in May. Mayo.
Yeah.
Not Mayo.
You know,
Mayo.
I think Lupita is also in May.
Oh, she? She better get on here too.
She's a Gemini. I know that.
Oh,
Sure.
I've figured that. I met Lupita in Oaxaca. I made her eat a grasshopper. And
Did you really
yeah.
meet her there the first time?
Yeah, that's the first time I met her.
What?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
her and John. Yeah. So it was funny because a lot of people I meet in Oaxaca and I never see them afterwards in Sacramento or anywhere. Like it literally, like
crazy.
when we'll hang out like the whole week, or and then all of a sudden, a year later, oh yeah, let's have a mezcal or something like that, and then it's a magic of Oaxaca. That's to me, that's what it is. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And in Oaxaca, the legend is if you eat a grasshopper, you always come back. So that's the first thing I do when I get there. I eat a grasshopper. They're everywhere,
There you
and
go.
there's chile and chile and lime and everything. So
I've
they're
never
good.
had
Always
one
come
of
back
those.
like
Yeah,
you come
always
back like on more
back there.
trips.
Yeah,
Mm.
the journey. So yes, so let me go back to Matt. It's I like you can read this, Leela. I just have Melissa read them because I'm not. I'm
Because I talk
dyslexic.
pretty.
Yeah.
Because she's good at reading. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just want to enjoy my drink, guys.
Yeah, I know that's the second one. So
I just want to drink.
So I just want to
All right.
drink.
It's kind of new to me. Weird way this forum helped me be humble and more open and honest. I love that. I love that so much. And Matt, I guess you're like an example of that whole like vulnerability begets more of it, because you also got on here and you were super silly with us and you put on your elf, like, I mean, you were an elf. It wasn't a character. Like you're like he puts on the Maddie character, but he's actually an elf. And I think that in and of itself, once you get up and you're just like silly and just say like, hey guys, I'm kind of weird. Well, hello, this is me. There's a very freeing aspect to that, right?
yeah, there is, and and that's what I love about everybody here. Everybody can let loose and really just be themselves, and we all have vulnerable spaces, and I know that with myself too. So, anyways, yes, I'm getting too vulnerable now. So I'm getting sweaty under these things right now. So yeah, that's my vulnerabilities. Yeah.
That's just
so
hot, you guys.
Yeah, I know it is hot. I know, right? So I'd like to say hi to Kelly. Kelly, thank you for coming tonight, and say hello to Andrea. They're always cool, good people. Cover California people. So and Marlo, yeah. And and I was telling Melissa that we're at one time we're gonna have everybody come back, like 4 or 5 of us, right? I think it's Carissa, Chacha Whispers, you,
Oh.
Matt, in a round table of
Oh
not
my
now.
That would be fun.
So,
That would be fun.
anyways.
My head is hurting. I might have to wig myself tonight, you guys, which will be super awkward for everyone watching.
Take off the hat.
It would be so vulnerable. I'm gonna
I
leave it on
know.
because once I take it off, I can't put it back on. You guys will be
See?
too attached to the way I
See?
look without it.
And he says, yes, the elf was a long time ago, right? And when I told Melissa, I'm like, yeah, I want to do, I want to have everybody on because it's a circle. She's like, don't end it. Remember that?
Yeah, because I felt like you were saying we were done, and I started crying and begging him. But I didn't know if okay, so when quarantine is over, which is awesome, does that mean our show is over too? And obviously we get to decide that. I don't think it does. Would you guys actually, people watching, do you still want us to do this once it's over? Because
I would. I think it's fun.
Yeah, and I already changed the name, so it doesn't, Corvid and Quarantine is not in the name anymore. So
you don't even care what people say. You're like, we're
I did
doing
3 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, so, yeah, and see, yes, the elf was a long time ago, and this is what we're talking about. It was, it is a dark time right now too. I mean, it really is. There's shit going on in the world that's fucked up, and and then back then was another dark time. It was literally when we first started doing this, it was a really, really dark time. And it's just like it is today. I mean, it's just compounding on each other. It's like everybody needs a break, at least something. But it does feel like it was a long time ago because it was a different reality, and it was a scary reality, and this is different today, and we so anyways, so yeah, Elf was a long time ago, and it was a long time ago for different reasons too. So
yeah. Also too, Ruben, I think I was talking to you about this, that so like in terms of the quarantine and the pandemic, if basically in some ways things have gotten harder for some people. And by that I don't mean economically or health wise. I mean anxiety wise, because I was just talking to a friend earlier who had to go to work. She's only working part-time. The office was supposed to be social distance, but she also works in the South, like she's in the South of the country, and her area is just very much that's a broad stroke to make, but she's around a bunch of people who aren't like, this is not serious, like who cares, we can finally go out again, woohoo. And she's a little freaked out. So she's like, I've always been so social, and I love going out and talking to my coworkers and going to the coffee shop and all the things that like I think all of us love too. But we were basically trained for 2 solid months to like not be near each other. And we still are. I mean, really, it's pretty serious in California still. And so I think there's a different kind of difficulty. And I'm not trying to say it's so hard. Like I love that we're living in the light and that there's a lot of beauty in it, but it's changed. It's not necessarily easier in a lot of ways. It's just different.
Yeah, it is.
I agree with you. And I have friends, like even like my older friends, like they shouldn't even be going out, and they get really upset because they don't see people with masks on, and it's frustrating to them, and they just don't feel safe, and so you get to see like who's really taking it seriously and who's not. And I know a lot of people that really, really complain about it, and at the same time I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay home then. If that's what makes me feel safer, then I'm just gonna stay home, and I'll send somebody else to get my things. Like,
yeah,
that's basically what I've been doing this whole time. Like, I have my 4-year-old son, I don't want him getting sick, and I know kids, they run around and they grab everything. And he's already trained to wear a mask. Like, he asks me now, like, if we go out somewhere, he's like, Mom, do we have to take our masks? Like, he reminds me to grab our mask. And usually, like, if I take him out, we're just doing, like, a drive-through. We stay in the car, so we're not near anybody. And I'm like, no, you're cool. You're fine. We'll be okay. But he already knows, and he's seen his friends, like, on Zoom wearing their masks. And I made his friends masks, so the boys have matching masks.
That's
Making it fun for the kids, and they really like it. They think they're ninjas. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to show so I want to give a quick shout out. Do they say that nowadays? Do the kids say that nowadays? Because I'm a little older, so I don't want to say shout out and be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Wait, what would you say
Anyways,
instead of shout out?
Maybe it would be
Well,
like,
this is because
beep.
this is what we're, we talk about mask, and I know that, we'll go back to Leela, and because, mask making, and what you do, and we appreciate that. But I have a friend who also makes masks here, and that's I just not saying, well, yes, Sarah, do you make masks? Yes, right. No, but she does a great job too. And there's other people that, a lot of people are doing that and making the world beautiful. It's not just like all the patterns I know Leela does. I've seen all the patterns that Sarah has, and they're really, really pretty. And I think that's the key, is to make this world pretty and beautiful, and, and make it fun. Like you said, you made your kids fun, right? You made your,
Right.
not your kids fun, but you made, you made that. And that's kind of, we need to do that with adults,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, so, but I appreciate that. And will you put up your mug that you got your mom bought you? Yeah.
I got this one when my boss. Whoops.
Oh, your boss. That's right.
Yeah.
Melissa, are you gonna?
Not
Are you
all
gonna-
heroes wear capes. Some make masks, and then the tattoo says "sewist," right?
Yeah.
And then the back of it says Leela.
Leela, happy birthday, Leela. No.
Thank you.
Everything leads to
For
Leela.
this perfect for my coffee, so I can keep drinking, keep sewing.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, I think that's actually a really good point, Ruben, just talking about like the way we can be artistic, even when you're talking about like your son and his friends and having matching masks. And it's funny, that's like a way you've kind of seen people's personalities start to come out, like people with like their sports team, or like I have one that's like a Halloween mask because I love Halloween, and it is just it's kind of like when someone gets hurt and they decorate their cast. It's an injury.
Exactly. Yeah.
So why not make it kind of fun,
Yeah, Frida did that. She had her whole torso.
That's right.
That?
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. And
she
she made
that. She didn't leave it blank. So
Yeah.
she wasn't gonna,
I paint my socks. I know that no one ever sees it, but I do. I feel beautiful.
What?
Yeah.
You should share your socks.
I feel beautiful.
Actual socks?
We'll talk about that. That's a different show. That's a different show.
Can you get your socks in the shop?
I thought it said
like
poops. Sorry, I said props when you give poops, but it didn't say poops. That's why Melissa reads these.
If you could just be a little more mature, that would be great.
No, I'm serious. That's what I'm saying. That dyslexia is not that great of a thing to have. So just in case.
Chris said, sometimes when I go out and I see so many people not wearing masks, I feel angry. It's hard for me to understand.
Yeah.
And that's another layer of what's difficult right now, right? I mean, there's so many things happening right now, but the level of it's becoming, and I know we take great care to not get political. And what's interesting about politics, and I'm not trying to do that right now, but what's interesting about politics is that like they are personal, right? Like everyone always says, like if you're unaffected by politics or you think you are, then you're pretty privileged. So that being said, it does affect us, right? And right now that mask or no mask is like totally becoming a divide. And I just want to put out there, and I know Ruben, like you said this earlier, we're not preaching to anyone, because I think we are blessed to know a lot of incredible, open-minded, loving, like smart people. But I just keep coming back to whatever it is that I think. Someone said, what if you're wrong? Like if you believe you need to wear a mask, what if you're wrong? Well, if you're wrong, you were just overly precautious, right? And that's awesome. What if you were like, there's no point, you look stupid, I'm not going to do it? Well, what if you're wrong? You could be harming people. And I was like, oh, I love that, because I'm totally always open to being wrong, and I'd rather be on the like safe side, than not.
I like to say that I'm not selfish. If someone were to ask me like, why, what I mean, because it's not necessarily for me. I mean, it is, too, but like I went into a store, and at a yogurt shop, I had my mask on. The people in front of me didn't have a mask on. The people that were in the store had their mask on. They had to cover everything else, but they didn't even tip. You know what I mean? I was pissed, because like, at least you can fucking tip if you're not wearing a mask, because you're not wearing it for your own thing. But we're worried about the people that are working. That's why that's why you wear it. That's why, I mean, like, of course I'm worried about myself too, but you're really doing it for other people too, because, but not everybody's going to be like that. And, and it is hard not to, to get to that point too. And, like what Sarah says, when you have a mask, it's really nice to express who you are. And I know that I see Leela's live postings, when she does her patterns, right? And everybody's like, I want that one. I want, it's cool the way you do it. And I do watch it. Yeah, and it's really interesting just to see people emote and want that kind of covering for themselves. So
I think also like for like me personally, like it's a sign of respect, you know, wearing one. Like I'm respecting the other person, and you know, it's
yeah,
part of being respectful because like I don't know, it's kind of rude not to, but I mean, I get those people, they're probably trying to make a statement that, you know, what their beliefs are exactly. And
yeah.
so
Mm. Mhm.
I mean,
that's
I
how
got
you can tell, but
yeah, and I got too annoyed with myself being annoyed with everybody else about not wearing one. I can't control them, you
yeah.
know. So there's
Right.
no point of me trying to either getting in you know, involved with that or you know, just going over my head because all that is going to cause is more trauma to myself if I keep going out and like, oh, you know, I see it, I'm like, I scan, I put my mask on, I scan, I'm like, okay, well, you know, 70%, 50%, you know, and so, but not everybody's going to do what you do, you know, and that's
Yeah.
just, and you know, that's just the way the world is. So, um,
Mm.
I don't have that much faith in humanity. So if they surprise me, then that's great, you know. But if not, I'm not, you know, gonna be like, oh shit, you know, I've go through that so many times. So, Colleen says, "Happy birthday, Leela! Thank you for brightening up our
Oh, thank
world."
you.
Yeah,
Thank you, thank
Raquel is
you.
tie dyed,
That's cool. Raquel, did
and
Ooh,
you tie
I
dye it
like
yourself?
tie-dye.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I used to always do like tie dye
I
projects.
was
That's
looking for a tie-dye print. I'm looking for other prints that are like out of stock, so I keep checking. And
maybe you should make it and just charge more for those because you put more work in.
you know, my husband told me the same thing, girl. Like no joke, those exact same.
Yeah,
And I
because
was
I
like,
would.
oh, you're gonna make me work more.
Well,
that's
don't.
right.
If you don't want to, don't.
Oh
I
no, you
mean,
better do
you,
it.
Ruben,
Yeah,
you have the devil and the angel. You have the chicken
I
and the
am.
crow.
I am the
They're
producer of
literally
our
on your
show.
shoulders.
That's
I
right.
know.
Oh my God, are you getting power hungry right now? Because that's what I'm hearing, Ruben.
Hungry. My stomach's growling. So is that power? It means, you know, that's where everything is centered at. So
Oh my
I want
God.
to say hi to Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Lynn's another great artist out
Oh
there.
God.
Yeah, awesome person, beautiful person. So hello, Lynn.
Hi,
Um,
Lynn.
exactly right. Yeah. See. So I got feelings too.
She's
No,
been
no.
feeling power hungry. Colleen wants power.
Colleen. Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't think that's what she was agreeing with.
Yeah, and it's true. You know, it is when it got
Oh,
hot.
that's true with the mask when it got
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I mean, I would wear mine when I'm in a store, in a public place in a store, and they have AC, so it's no big deal, you know. Just put it on as you're walking into the store. Like in
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
here are requiring before you walk in, they need you to wear a mask, or they're only letting a certain amount of people in a store at a time. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when people ask me about a mask, I decided that I'm going to cough a lot. You know what I mean, and scare them.
Cough really
But
hard, scare everybody
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
If they're not
Oh.
standing
So
6 feet,
yeah,
you're like,
so
ha,
you know,
ha, ha.
if they get irritated with me, I have my defenses too. A skunk will
Hey,
spray you, right? I will spray you
that's
in a
fine.
different way. Yeah, spiritually, right? Once
Right.
again,
That
we're gonna full circle to the spiritual enema, right?
I will spray
Everybody
you
needs one.
spiritually. The
That's right.
Ruben Brasino. Oh my God, I just scared my cat. Ow! Oh God. Why did you make me say your name like that?
Sorry,
I was
Matt says hi to Lenny. Hi, little Lenny. That's a pet name for Lynn, by the way. So Matt did a one improv teach.
I'll read it.
Melissa,
One
there you
time
go.
I did an impromptu teach-in about masks with a line of folks standing behind me at the market. It went well. Oh, I see. Like wait, if you put it back up, I couldn't, maybe I'll
Oh,
go back to
sorry.
his.
I think that was it.
Well, no, I was just trying to
Oh,
understand it. So it sounds like you were in line and you started to just kind of tell people this is why you wear a mask. It went well. Because for a second I was like, you really put on like a workshop or something about masks, but no, that wasn't what he meant. Cool, good for you. And I'm like you said earlier, Ruben, I think we're all probably pretty conscientious because that's what I'm hearing. Just that I think when it comes down to it is that you're being considerate of other people, right? Like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah,
I'm not selfish. Lily, you said it's respectful. And I said, like, well, what if you're wrong? So you're considering someone else. And ultimately I think that like, I don't know, humanity is interesting. I often find that they fall kind of neutrally. Like there's a lot of good and there's a lot of people who don't necessarily know how to do that. And yeah, and I agree with you, Ruben. It gets to be too taxing spending all of our time like
Being
bitching or
pissed.
judging or
Yeah,
being angry. Yeah, yeah.
I was going, look, my mask is better than yours, and I walk out. I throw my mask off. Yeah.
I've
Just
seen
throw
so
it
many
down.
bad masks though. Like after making so many masks, like when I do go out, I see other people with masks that are like really small, and I'm like, yeah, I wish you'd have a bigger mask. Like I could make you a bigger mask. That's all I keep thinking. I'm like, I can make you a better
I
one.
mean, what about the people that
Mm,
wear the mask with the nose out? I mean, come on.
Oh my
mm.
gosh, yes.
Yes.
Then why do you have it on if it's not
Yeah.
gonna cover your nose?
You saw the picture of the with the pee looking out. Like, do you wear your underwear like this?
Right?
Right.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and it has the guy with the mask on with
Oh,
it coming out, and
goodness.
then he has the underwear with the little pee coming out.
Mm,
I think you can say
mhm.
pee on here now, right? It's
No,
on.
that's one of the words you can't say on StreamYard.
Okay.
You're gonna get kicked off, actually.
Ah. So, and Rory is Raquel had Rory make his, and do you know Rory? Don't you, Leela? No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Rory's another cool guy who makes masks too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so I know
We're just
I
everywhere now.
well, yeah,
Everybody knows somebody that makes masks.
that's right. Masks were so cool 2 weeks ago because now
They're so cool.
no, they are, and I think they're going to be, like I said, they're going to be well, we're going to need them for a while, so the more progression on them, the better too. So, but yeah, and thank you for doing that too, Leela. And I know that you do a lot,
yeah.
and you make a lot, and
It's
I've seen you rage. I've seen you
Whoa.
happy.
Oh my God, rage
I've seen you
against the sewing machine.
rage against Leela. Yes,
Oh
Rage against the
goodness.
sewing machine.
but
Rage against the sewing machine. My sewing machine has been so good to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Aw.
don't say that.
down.
You know
I
the old
know,
Mexican
I know.
saying.
I'm
That's right.
knocking on wood.
Maria, no.
No,
So you're
but you know
grateful for
what?
your
Let me
sewing
tell you
machine.
something.
Yeah.
Randy was like, maybe you should upgrade to a new sewing machine. And I was like,
Don't ever say. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm going to wait till this one craps out and then I'll get a new one.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Are you guys, just because I was just reading about this, are you saying, and I know that you were making like a joke about the old Mexican saying,
Yeah.
but are you saying that when you're grateful for something, that's like tempting fate to take it away?
If you say it out loud.
Yeah. The sewing
Is
machine
that-
is part of the fabric of my mom. My mom sewed. I mean, like she was
With
a
sewing
fucking
machines
sewer.
specifically.
Yeah, that was like superstition right there. It's like you don't talk about the sewing machine.
Oh my
No,
God.
she's good. I take good care of her. I
Does she
order
have a
her up all
name?
the time.
Does she have a name? And don't say
She
Maria.
doesn't.
See, she doesn't have a name.
Why would she be Maria?
I don't know, because every we're all Marias, right? I mean, everybody, all Mexicans like Jesus, Maria,
That's true. There's
and then,
always
yeah.
there's always a Maria and there's always a Jose.
Yeah. So
So it's not
anyways,
Jose. It must be Maria then.
There's two in my family. I have both.
so
Oh, I meant your sewing machine.
yes. Just remember, everybody, you gotta name the sewing machine because
I
it is
gotta
the
name
spirit
her.
within. That's right. Because at nighttime she turns into someone
man,
else and walks.
She's gotta have a good name.
That's right. So, anyways,
There's like a whole
I gotta
story
think
here.
about this.
it's a Mexican folklore. So
What should I
do
name
it.
her, guys?
I don't know. Anybody type in a name, please, because we're gonna need one tonight. Now that we know, the thing is, you never say you don't have
She's
a name
singer.
because you have till midnight to make up with the name,
To
or
make
else.
up a name for my machine.
So,
Okay.
God, you're
anyways,
making all of these scary rules,
No.
making it
they're
more
not
superstitious.
they're not scary. There's
I'm like,
oh, we
Bertha.
have a Bertha. There you go.
I love it.
Big
Like Big
Bertha.
Bertha, like Selena's best. Love it.
Yolanda.
No, not Yolanda.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
It's like the opposite.
Selena. Oh, no.
No.
See, now we have something going.
We know what
Yes.
not to name her.
We probably don't want to name La Llorona because then she'll go the river.
No,
Yes.
I
no.
don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I
So
think we're
La-
going in the wrong direction.
yes.
Yeah,
We
this
need
is
something
getting
more.
dark.
It's not dark. It's
Well, Yolanda was dark.
That was pretty dark, especially
Why?
after it came after Bertha.
Because she shot Selena.
Oh, see, I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Come on,
Bertha
Ruben.
was the name of Selena's bus. They called her Big Bertha.
Oh, see, this stuff's
You
coming
didn't
up,
know that.
and that's why you have to.
Oh my
Wow.
God, you should name it Selena.
Aw, because she's a singer. Oh, shit.
Ah!
you have to-
Perfect. Oh my God. I'm
just-
echoing.
See?
Oh, high five. That was
You guys
awesome.
hear me?
Yeah.
Heard you.
No, I mean I know you can hear me, but I hear an echo.
Oh, you're here now.
I didn't know that about Selena.
Perfect.
Matt,
Okay.
Matt, you didn't. It was an innocent
I'm
suggestion.
gonna call her. I'm gonna call her Selinas.
Selena.
Selinas. Anything for Selena.
And so-
she's right here in front of me. That's why I keep reaching out.
And the show The Masked Singer. Ooh, Selena the
There you go. Yeah.
Ruben's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, I
Are you
know.
not are you familiar with Selena,
do you know
Ruben?
sewing machines?
What's that?
Oh, I don't at all.
So
Well,
Sarah has to name her sewing machine too. So
It's an actual singer, like the brand. That's like
I did get that. I did know that was like a brand of
okay.
Singer. I got your pun. I'm
Okay,
with it.
okay. I was
I know.
making sure. 'Cause
We have another
not
pun.
everybody knows. Not
Oh my
everybody knows
God.
sewing machines. So.
That is good, Matt. Solena.
Ooh, Sulena. Okay, yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We have lots of fun here, right?
We have fun. So you guys, we have fun.
So
Ha ha.
so
Nice.
anyway, we're back now. So no, that's great. And I don't know if you know who La Llorona is, Melissa. Everybody has it's a Mexican folklore.
Oh,
Actually-
is it like Woman of the River or something?
Yeah, but it's actually designed to make kids don't go out at nighttime.
Tell me more.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
ready?
Let's tell a ghost story.
En el río
Oh, I got a
vivía
dim.
mi mamá.
Wait.
Una noche vino
Wait, no.
La Llorona. La Llorona que viene. Que viene La Llorona.
Eee!
Yeah. It literally
I'm
means a
scared.
siren. La Llorona is a siren or someone who cries.
There's a
Oh.
movie of it. It's alright.
Yeah, don't look at the movie because you know what? In Spanish, when your mom is telling the story, it scares the shit out of you. You will
My
not.
mom never told me that story.
Oh, see, we did, and
because
I
I
lived-
was a good kid.
yeah,
That was why he got told the story. Exactly. Stop doing that shit, Ruben.
Ruben, yeah, they're like,
Yeah, Ruben, you were not a good kid.
every time you hear a siren, that was La Llorona. So you don't want to go out at nighttime because I was always, the FOMO little kid. I'm like, there's something going on out there. I gotta go see. Okay, Ruben, go check it out. La Llorona's gonna get you. I'm like, yeah. So
So
but
wait, that's like this. So say it again. La Rona.
La Llorona,
Llorona.
she cries.
Llorona.
Yes.
The crier.
Because I know of sirens that like distract the ships coming in the ocean. Is it kind of the same idea?
No.
Well, no, but she cries for her kids that
So she drowned her kids.
yes.
So this lady,
It's a
Ooh.
long.
she was
story.
obsessed with her husband, and she got mad at him, and so she decided to take away the one thing that he loved the most, which were his two boys. And so she drowned them. And then after she did it, she felt really bad about it, and so she just started crying. And that's why they call her La Llorona, because she cries all the time for her children.
So
Oh
her
my
spirit comes.
Boom! That's
Yeah.
what it is.
That is terrifying.
So at
I know,
nighttime,
right?
at nighttime when they hear a
Thank you,
siren, they
Steph.
go, "Ahí está la Llorona." They're gonna get you if you go out. So, which
ooh, that gives me chills. And I'm not
Which
even
there
a
is.
kid.
yeah, and it does. It works, by the way.
Yeah.
But which is really interesting because we went to the California Caverns one time, and there was and if you've been there before, it's super beautiful, like just
I want
deep
to
down.
go.
And there's they had a church in there, like a church sermon in there too, because it was so hot in California that the miners would go down there and have a church. And it's actually really cool. But they also had an American Indian tale about giants being down there, and a giant would eat your bones if you went down there, right? And and that kept the kids from Native Americans from exploring the caves because the caves were very dangerous at that time. So they actually had a story about, kind of, a lot of these things are folklore to keep people,
Safe.
yeah, safe and not like that. So these are, they're stories to keep you safe is basically what they're, but they're also stories to, to kind of scare out there. So,
I
and
love that stuff.
And Mexicans, we have all kinds of stories like that. We're not afraid of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of spirit stories. That's why Day of the Dead and all that stuff. So Americans may find that scary, but we find that just part of our culture.
Probably like, why are you traumatizing your children?
Yeah. So it's it is part of our culture. If you want to, One day we'll get into
I
some
love
scary
that.
stuff, and we'll see some scary stuff one time, and like real stuff that that comes from native stuff. So that's
Just so you
nothing.
know, I'm like obsessed with ghost stories. Like I'm hearing this and I'm like, oh my God, not that I wish I'd been scared as a kid, because I would just intentionally do like Bloody Mary or just the stupid like ghost story things that you do as a kid. I think this is fascinating. I love like folklore, and I love the oral, I guess it is like the oral storytelling that is so
I
prevalent.
Yeah, and you find out there's every culture has its oral stories to kind of keep people at bay, right? Scare them,
Yeah.
So especially kids. So that's kind of the point of there. So and Sarah said she has Bernadette is her name of her sewing machine.
Burnett.
Oh, Bernadette. See?
Although maybe she mistyped it. Maybe she meant Bernadette. Who knows?
No, she probably didn't Bernadette. I just can't spell. I mean,
Maybe
I can't.
she's brunette. Is she brunette?
Yeah. Burnett.
Burnett.
Yeah.
Burnett.
So
Burnett.
anyway, so yeah, and going back to the like I said, making the mask. I know that you made how many do you think you've made so far?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's hard to keep track.
Yeah,
Really.
no.
So how many do you
I
usually
try to
make
keep
like
track,
on a
but
busy day?
Like per week, I make at least 100 a week.
Okay. And there's been like
Yeah.
2
But
months.
before, I was making more than that. But it's kind of slowed down a little bit. But I'm still get a bunch of orders. So
Wow.
it's crazy.
Is it like a mindfulness practice for you? Like, do you like doing it?
Yeah, I do. I like working with my hands, like anything that keeps me busy. Because I also knit, I crochet, like I've done a bunch of things, and so this is just like kind of like knitting, kind of like crocheting, and I put my iPad like in front of my sewing machine, and I'll put my headphones on, and so everybody's sleeping, and I'm like staying up at night and I'm watching my Hulu shows while I'm sewing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, girl, I got all set up.
That sounds like a nice little relaxation. I mean, obviously you're working, and it sounds like for a while it was a crazy amount, but especially as a mom, I can see that being a nice little like, okay, this is my time, focus,
Right.
Hulu, like that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I can actually watch my shows because these guys won't let me watch anything. So I can actually watch my shows or just listen to a podcast or just I don't know, listen to music. So
Yeah.
I feel like
How's your artwork going?
it's going.
Yeah.
I finished the 2 paintings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Those are
Oh my
beautiful doors.
God, I could not believe I painted those. Those are like
Yeah.
the biggest ones I've ever done. Like
Those are amazing.
I just couldn't believe I got them done like in that amount of time, because it was kind of scary, because I was like, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it to the deadline? Like,
Oh, you had a deadline.
I did. I had a deadline, was the 20th. No, the 21st, last Thursday, and so they needed it because they were going to have inspection in their restaurant. So they needed their bathroom doors back. And I'm like, I need to hurry up. So,
Which is interesting to me because I don't know how they got away with having a male and female bathroom.
Yeah, see, I thought about that too.
Yeah.
But then I thought about their restaurant,
Yeah. I'm just saying from experience, we got nailed on that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I was like, okay, because I was going to do that at Cantina too. We're like, well, we can't. We can't. So, anyways, but they look beautiful though. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How much? How long?
Fun.
Yeah. How long did it take for one?
So the girl took a little longer.
Of course.
Shut up.
No, I think the girl took longer because I had to do her whole face, whereas the guy, I just had a profile, so it wasn't that. It didn't take that long, and like I hadn't painted in a really long time with acrylics, like a really long time, and I was like secretly nervous, but I'm like, I'm gonna pretend I'm not nervous at all, and I'm just gonna do it, like. So I went in there and I'm like, not knowing how, because they're metal doors, like they're these heavy, big metal doors. Oh my gosh, they are a pain to move. We had to move them from the garage, no, from the truck
Oh
to the
yeah.
back.
Wait,
And
so how did you get this gig? Did you go and say, "Hey, you know what? I could paint your doors," or did they say, "Hey, we need an artist for our doors"? Like, how did that come to
yeah,
be?
so we usually do like second Saturday at La Cosecha, at Cerces Chavez Park in Sacramento, and the owner lets us set up there, like in his balcony area, which is really cool. And so we just get to set up, however we want there. And he's been really nice at, you know, like all last year, all last summer, letting us put our pop up. Randy would do his live art, and then I would sell things in my vending booth. And he came over and he looked at my a lot of my greeting cards and my paintings that I did. He's like, I really like your art. He's like, I would love to have some of your art in my restaurant. Could you possibly paint the bathroom doors? And I was like, I kept saying, yeah, that sounds cool, but I never got around to actually do it. And this was like, I think last summer when he asked me to do this. And so it just never really came around to do it. And then he asked my husband again, like, if I still wanted to paint the doors. And I told him, I was like, only, well, he said, maybe they can bring them here. And I was like, yeah, if they bring the doors to me, because I'm not going to Sacramento anytime soon. And I
Wait,
didn't
do you
want,
not live in Sacramento?
no, I'm in Yuba City.
Oh, wait, maybe I didn't know that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
For some
way,
reason, I
way
picture you in Midtown. I think it's because I've heard you talk about Second Saturday so much.
yeah.
Okay, so he
Well,
was like,
Sac
"Paint my
was like
doors."
my second home, like for a while, like when I met my husband, because he lived in Sac. And so,
Mm,
again, I would live in Sac, and then during the
mm.
live in Yuba City.
Well, because I just want to point out that you did something important, which is, and I know that there's more to the story as far as how this transpired, but someone was like, "Hey, do this thing, paint this door," and you were like,
Yeah.
"Okay," but you were secretly
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, that's a pretty big
I
door."
know. It was a really big. It was a big door. It was metal. I'm only used to painting on canvases, so I wasn't sure how even like the paint would react on that surface or anything. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And we had like I was looking at pictures of people in different like positions, and so I found one of a girl, and I was like, okay, I can throw a mask on her face, and there we go. It'll look nice. I'm like, ooh, I like these flowers. I'm gonna add some calla lily flowers, and
Yeah.
calla lilies are my mom's favorite flower. So it's like, okay, kind of, I like to have a little bit of a connection with my paintings, even though it's a commission. But
Mm,
what's cool about this one is he pretty much told me, he's like, I want a guy on the men's room and then a girl in the women's room, and he's like, but I want them in your style, make them however. And I was like, okay. So I was kind of free to do like my own kind of design, which is really neat. Instead of someone saying, I want this specific and make it look exactly like this. So
yeah.
it
Did you
was
ever
nice.
have any moments when you were making them that you got like totally overwhelmed or ever wondered, can I even do this?
No, I think once I started like, hey, I don't know, I just kind of went into the mindset like I gotta get this done. Like the door's here. Like I get into that mindset, especially when I have commission. I'm like, this is my work. This is my job. I don't have time
Mm,
to like freak out. I gotta just get it done. And they're gonna pay me, so this is it, and I gotta get it done by this time. So I just get that like that same way when I
mm,
asked. I'm like, okay, I got these orders now. I gotta get these done. Like, and then
yeah.
I'll feel better once it's like done. So
That right there though, it's like I like to call it mind drama, the mind drama of can I do this? Am I good enough? What if I can't? Maybe I should stop. Maybe I'll go watch Netflix. I'm not saying that was your experience, but like that is the experience of
yeah,
a lot of people. And I get it because I
uh,
lived there. And so to hear you talk about it, that is just something I always like to shine a light on. Like you didn't just like happen to create these doors. You took a chance and did something out of your comfort zone. And then you just said, I'm doing this, which sounds so simple, but that little, it's a decision. Like us
yeah,
making a decision about something in our lives, it kind of alleviates all the drama. And it's like, all right, I'm doing this either way. So are they going to be good? I really want them to be good. And it kind of gives your brain
right,
permission to just like
yeah.
create and
Well,
incorporate your mom's flower and all that stuff.
I told, like, my husband's like, oh, just do something really simple so it won't take you so long to finish. And I was like, I don't want to do anything simple. Everybody's going to be staring at these doors, and my name's going to be on there. I want it to look the best that I can possibly make it. And I'll,
Mm,
like, it's my door,
boom.
like, it's my art. So,
That
yeah.
is my signature.
I had to tell
Literally.
him a point, like, he kept, I don't know, he was getting in my way. And I was like, stop telling me how to paint. Just let me do my work.
And you know what? That's another good point, because I'm guessing, I'm not in your marriage, but I'm guessing you were probably maybe a little overwhelmed. And he was probably trying to be like, Leela, just do something simple. Like, you
Yeah.
got this. Because our people that love us like to take away our like, "Bleh." Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be freaking out about my business, and really, I love it. Like, I'm going to keep building it. This is what I'm doing. And Michael will be like, well, like, you could like go work for Kaiser as a coach, or like, he hasn't even said that, but it's like, he'll give me this
Mhm.
sort of like very beautiful alternative. And it's like, no, like, that's not
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
We like to call those guy solutions. You know,
just
guys.
do something else.
I
Yeah,
mean,
guys.
it's sweet,
Yeah,
but
guys
I'm
are.
like,
Yeah.
I want to give my best and I want to do it, even if it's a little harder. I don't care because I'm gonna feel really good about it afterwards.
Oh my gosh. I think that maybe if we can, we should link to these because we're talking about them. So for anyone watching that wants to see them, they were gorgeous. Maybe we can put a link to like a post you put up of them or something, because
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's obvious you put a lot of work in. But I'm such a huge fan of recognizing, even if it felt easy for you, Leela, which it doesn't sound like it was necessarily easy, but there's like there's like aspects of implementing the things in life that we do that other people can be like, oh, maybe I could just make a decision and say,
Yeah,
I'm doing this. This is my job.
yeah,
Like, you are committed. And
yeah.
yeah, so I just think that's cool. I
It
didn't.
it takes a while to. I feel like because I wasn't, like you said, you get nervous, or like you asked me if I'd get nervous if I would get it done or not, and probably like a long time ago when I first started doing art, I used to get anxiety, like, oh my gosh, what if I don't get it done in time, and then I would slack on other stuff, and but but it takes a while to get that mentality of like, okay, I'm just gonna just do it and get it done, and I've
Yeah.
I've had,
What?
like,
What?
ever since. Oh, thanks.
Oh,
What?
that's
Hey, there
awesome.
they are. There's the
So,
door.
so
You
these
know
are the
what I
doors.
love?
Oh my
Okay, so
gosh.
I've had these doors at my house, and I wish, honestly, like, the girl's my favorite one. I don't know. Oh, but I really love the guy, too, because I love the sombrero. But that's the thing, when I was painting them, is I did the girl first, and I was just really excited because I fell in love with it, like, automatically. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Like, I could feel it in my bones. I'm like, oh, I'm excited to get this done because it's going to be really good. Like, and for me to, like, I have to, like, really fall in love with my art, with what I'm doing for it to turn out good, I feel like. Because sometimes
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
some pieces where I'm just like, not really feeling you, and then it starts to, like, not come out how I want it to. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling that one. So I feel like a lot of other artists can kind of, like, relate to that, like if they're working on a certain piece. And I have a bunch that I've just put aside because I'm like, yeah, we're not getting along. Like, but then
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, yay! Like, it made me really happy.
Yeah, they look great. They really do.
So
Yeah.
I think you just said something that's actually pretty universal too, even if you're not an artist, because this is something that I talk to people a lot about. And it is basically finding like the why, like, why am I doing this? Because
yeah.
really falling in love with this like photo or this kind of image and feeling that like, oh, this is right. This is what I'm supposed to be creating
Mm-hmm.
and bringing into the world onto this door. That is
Yeah.
what gets that feeling. And that's what I do. Like, I literally every morning sit in my why. Like, for 5 minutes, I just like recall and sit in and feel and remember, like, why am I doing this? And for me, it's like business related, writing related, all of it. And I think anything any of us do that is like a goal, or whether it's getting in shape, starting a business, maybe it's a creative endeavor, but doing what you just talked about, it isn't just art, which is really a beautiful part of being an artist. It's ultimately for any of us really coming to this like certainty of like, why am I even doing this? That's going to get us through the
Mm-hmm.
shit days when you're tired and it's inconvenient. Do you relate to that, Ruben?
Well, I'm just recalling last week when I figured out what the Y meant.
Oh my God, we talked about the Y last week.
Yes.
I forgot about
I
that.
thought it was the letter Y.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, X, Y, Z. I'm like, okay, I know all this years. I'm telling you. Everybody's like, well, what is your Y? I'm like, I don't know. And then
This is the letter.
I think you guys, yeah, they were talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, it means why, like the actual word why. Like, so.
I know.
But anyway,
My
so
nurse says
I was,
that, but no.
yeah.
Yeah.
See? But yeah, so I think, like I said, I think they're beautiful. I think they came out and, last week we talked about resistance to, like to not finishing them. Right. And, so, cause I know that when I have artwork to do, there's a lot of resistance not to finish something or to like, get scared of something or, and, but once you start doing it, you get in the flow, you get into the, to the meditative part, and it's like, then it's done, like, then you're like, what the fuck did I even worry about that? Because it's going to get done. And that's the biggest, to me, that's the biggest hurdle, not the actual doing it. It's actually getting to do it is the actual hurdle, because everything else is, the process is awesome. I love it, but it's more of like, it's almost like I'm teasing myself, so, but
and too, like the moment you were talking about where you were like, "Hi, Omar. I'm happy to see Omar." Cha-Cha whispers.
Cha-Cha whispers.
Thank you.
But the moment you were talking about Leela, when you were like, "Yeah, this is it. This is it." Oh my God, I just totally lost my train of thought. I think I was.
It's okay.
That's called chicken
It
brain.
happens to me all the time. No worries.
It's because I saw Omar and I saw Colleen, and then I was like, "Oh my God, beautiful people."
I do that to you all the time.
I know you do. Okay, I kind of remember it. It's basically that. Oh, it's because Ruben, you were talking about. It's not the like act. It's getting yourself to do the act, whether it's writing or painting or typing. And I was just gonna say that, like, as a writer, I live for those moments where I'm just like, yes, this is what I'm trying to say, and it just flows and it feels perfect and right. And those are like not super common for me. I have to like sludge through and just like work to get to those. But when they happen, oh my God. And I guess I point that out to say, I think it's probably like that for a lot of us creatives, that and that's why a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. It's hard. And it's like, oh no, like it's always hard, but those moments are so worth it.
And this is what I learned last week. Why? Not the why. I'm serious. I know it sounds
¿Y por qué no más?
This is like years in the making. I'm really, serious, but sometimes I do that. Like my brain.
Reason why.
Well, no one said it.
What's the reason why?
Yeah, but no one actually put it in those sentences for me. So I'm like, okay, but just think about this. I had all these years to contemplate what actual the why was. So
and
when
what did you find?
That's right. That's another story. That's another show.
Okay, so I thought, that song by Alanis that I want you to know that I'm happy for you. Yes. So I always thought she said cross-eyed bear. She says cross-eyed bear, but I always thought it said like cross-eyed, like see my eyes are crossed, cross-eyed bear. So for years I was like, anyway, Ruben, I'm trying to make you feel better. That's the whole point of this story.
There's no feeling better.
I think we all do that with lyrics, though.
I acknowledge, I really do. I acknowledge the fact that, I mean,
well, you should feel bad. We have to make sure he feels bad first. So feel bad.
That was my vulnerability last night when I said, "Oh my God, that means why?" Like, because I'm, everyone's like the TED Talk, I'm like, okay, what? I don't get it.
Who's Ted?
Yeah,
what?
And why is he talking so much? Because I don't see
Ted.
I never see Ted talking, so it's always someone else. So
Ted, Sally, Silent Sally, and talkative Ted, and Dr. Seuss is joining us on tonight's edition.
So there you
Cali
go.
Cocktail Hour.
It's the chicken. The chicken is getting hot. So
I'll admit to that. I'm not on my rocker exactly. I think it's because my cats are all around me.
Is what was the I mean, how did you figure out how to do these? I mean, like, were they pictures of something or?
Yeah, I just looked up pictures and I just threw a mask on them and then figured out backgrounds and stuff. So I look at like reference pictures. I think the chick is that one Victoria's Secret model. I forgot her name.
Ari, I recognize her. She has
Right,
big lips.
Ariana or
It's like
Adriana. I think
Adriana Lima.
Adriana, yes. So I used her face a little bit as a reference, but I just changed her hair a little bit, and yeah, I don't even know. I was just looking up for mariachi, and I was like, oh, that's a cool one. All right, and yeah.
Awesome. And how you guys both doing tonight? Good? Yeah?
Are you talking to us?
Yes.
It's like
Wait.
I'm talking to myself. Yeah.
It freaks out
Wait,
when the
but
question's on you. That's right.
Yeah, but I liked after like Randy took him to the restaurant. See how they kind of have like a frame around the pictures. I was like, oh, it looks like they're framed. Like, and I think
Yes.
they redid their restrooms completely. They moved either they moved the women's restroom or the men's to the opposite or something. And
I want to
they
go there and be
did
like,
some
I know her.
remodeling.
I'm gonna go stand in line for the
I'm
bathroom
waiting
whenever
to
that happens
see.
again.
Yeah.
Of
I'm
course,
waiting to see
Chacha
people
whispers.
take like selfies with them. I need to go take another selfie with them.
Whether
But
in
first,
the bathroom or
I have to pee,
Yeah.
but first, let me take a selfie.
Right? Or while you're waiting in line.
Oh,
'Cause
totally.
You know there's always a line.
So is
Let me
Chacha
just say, like,
right?
It's a really good restaurant.
yeah,
Okay.
Cha-Cha Whispers is the winner tonight. He won the
Yes.
quiz about which Victoria's Secret model is on the door of this restaurant.
Woohoo!
That's right.
Good job.
You get a
Cha-Cha
big
Whispers,
virtual hug.
if you're still watching, I want to know how your cat's butt. If I remember correctly, your cat's butt leaked everywhere when you were the guest on our show, and we were all very worried and invested. And I just wanted to check in, see how Mr. Kitty's doing.
Oh my gosh.
Why would happen to Mr. Kitty?
Ruben, you were here too. You were
What?
just so self-centered you don't remember.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I think it was the cat. He had
Yes.
a couple animals on the show, but I think it was the
Yes.
cat that had an interesting
Chacha, what was
issue.
it, Chacha? Talk to me, Chacha. Talk to me.
Talk to us. Tell us about
Yeah.
your cat stuff. Cat stuff.
Yes.
And if he's watching, he has to see that Pumpkin's here. He's like, oh, leave me alone.
Aw.
He's just
Nice.
having a bath. So, you guys, we're getting to the end of our show.
Oh, his good weeks and bad weeks.
Oh, good weeks and bad weeks, right? Don't we all? I feel that. Sarah,
Yeah.
he's talking to you, Ruben. How could you forget that?
That's right.
I was just going to say that I know we're getting towards the end because we usually end around 10:30. And I love that we always kind of meander and go in kind of whatever direction feels right. But I would love if all of us went around, and I know Ruben probably has another song planned, so maybe before or after if he does, but went
Yeah.
around and talked about a gift or blessing or unexpected silver lining of quarantine has been for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll come back and everybody, thank you for coming out. Leela, thank you for always. It always goes by so fast. That's the funny part. So
I know.
It does.
I know. I
What
didn't even
time is
realize
it?
it was so late.
We
Oh,
can
wait,
keep
hold on.
going. I'm good.
I remember.
He leaked on my leg.
Like, remember that?
Oh yeah.
I could. Okay, that now I
Like
remember.
Sarah said,
That
how could
doesn't
you
sound
forget?
very good.
No, he on my leg. Hold on. What is it? He leaked on my remember. See,
He
that's
leaked on my leg.
I could see that. I can understand. That's how my brain works, right? That, totally.
Yeah.
What could you not understand? Actually seeing it happen, because that's what the rest of us
That's
thought.
what I said. I didn't even like. Oh yes, I remember that. So
it's all a
anyways.
blur. I don't even remember talking about the why last week because it's like all a blur. So I feel you.
We
We
need to
did.
do another trivia, Ruben. You need to look for another trivia. That was fun.
We should just
Well, that
play
was
Emily's trivia.
yeah, and that was what do you call it? Hold on 1 second.
Emily's.
That was Emily's yeah, that was Emily's trivia thing. So that was shoot. Sorry,
Which, by
let
the
me
way,
go
if
back.
anybody wants to hear it, I'm going to put a link to. I was on her podcast months ago. I think it was like in January, and it went up a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's super fun. We talked about this show, or not a show. It was a movie called Now and Then. It was from the 90s. I was obsessed
and you were
with
talking about that. I got so excited because I freaking love that movie.
You do? Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! No joke. I used to go to the library to rent it all the time. Like me and my mom, we used to watch it all the time. Like we have the whole movie. And so the other I think sometime last year, it like came up in my head, and I was like, huh. You know how like you just start thinking about like movies like you haven't seen in a long time?
Yeah, totally. It was on Netflix for like a minute. And what's interesting, okay, you have to listen to this show then, because I just was like, oh, I'll be a guest on your podcast. I'll choose this movie that I love. And then when I watched it as an adult and with kind of like different eyes, and then I started researching
Yeah.
it, there's all this stuff that I didn't know about the movie and about basically like the way it was marketed, it was panned, it was basically hidden from the cultural, like you couldn't access it. It was so hard to find. And there's all of these
Yeah.
reasons that are like, right? It's crazy.
It's such a
And
hard movie to find.
it's so hard. And it's not on accident. It's because like, anyway, I don't want to get off, like we have a whole talk about it. And what it comes down to is that like our world basically decides the art and media we should consume, which I'm sure you guys as artists probably recognize that. And we have to be really vigilant as consumers to like seek out things that tell our stories, which that was a big thing we talked about, that like it's important to find narratives that like resonate with you. But anyway, totally going on a tangent. But I'm going to put a link in the comments so that anyone who wants to watch it, Lila, you should totally watch it. We should talk about it
Okay.
because
I
it's
love
a
that
great
movie.
movie, but it's also just like an interesting, I think, thing to hear for anyone who is interested in how art shapes us in ways we don't realize, and how we're basically like spoon fed what to consume. Like I'm just so fascinated.
So, yes, and then trivia was awesome. Like I said, it was fun. That's another surprise I threw at you guys, right? And it was great.
Yeah.
And
It's so
what I loved was that fact that it was all English, from Britain, and I mean, it transferred over some of it, but some of it was like,
Yeah.
what's a kilf?
We're like, what is that? I know.
Yeah.
What was a kilf? What was
Yeah.
a kilf?
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
got that answered.
I
I
think it
feel like
was
she
a
told us, but I forgot. I don't
yeah,
remember.
yeah, and she was great. We should have her back on too. I know she has to come at 5 in the morning, but she seems to.
She seems up that late a lot though, because I saw her posting at like 10.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I
like,
know,
oh,
I
maybe.
know. So what was your question again? And
Oh,
to
you
the
asked.
two artists, yes.
Yeah. So anyone watch, what has been unexpected gift of quarantine, or maybe even an expected one, but just what has been something that has been positive for you? Maybe it's like getting more time with your family. Maybe it's seeing your neighbors really gather together and support each other. Maybe it's it could be anything. It could be something in the world, it could be something personal. But I would love to hear, kind of like Matt shared earlier, that like he's ended up getting closer with people. I think that's totally part of the blessing for me, is just this shared experience, knowing that whoever it is I'm talking to, whether it's someone on the opposite end of like a professional email, or the person I'm talking to on the phone about a bill, or like whatever it is, like we all kind of know, like, how you doing? Are you guys doing okay?
Yeah.
Where are you at in the world? What's going on there? It's like this commonality, which I think is really neat to have.
It's
So
important.
yeah. So I'm gonna play something that I don't know if you guys. We went to, I think not Melissa, my Melissa, got
Hey,
tickets for
Melissa.
us to go see Cornell West, right? And he actually turned me on to be, to change over to Bernie Sanders, because just what he said, and he's such an elegant speaker. And I was like kind of going back and forth, and but he really just, I love the way he speaks. I really love the way he. So, anyways, this song has snippets of it, and as an artist, we always sneak things in, or do things symbolically, without having to say much on it. But anyways, so I'm gonna play a song right now, and then we'll come back and we will answer the questions. Let me see, but hold on one second though before we do that, because I don't want to skip anybody. Oh, hold on.
I love how quiet the city was and is. Is Chris in Sacramento, Ruben?
Nice.
Yeah. And Chris and I just did a podcast too, so thanks, Chris, by the way.
Oh,
Chris
And
has
like
his
the air
podcast.
feels fresher. Like it smells a little less polluted.
Yeah, it was, it was,
Right?
and that is a very good point. I mean, it was so quiet. You can hear birds, you can hear everything. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy quiet, and it was so beautiful. And I remember talking to my friend, Chris knows Uli, but we're just talking about how, he was in the Bay Area. And he was like, I just wanted to see, the Bay Bridge, and I told myself I'd go out and do it, and sometimes he missed it, and now it's back to normal. And he's like, I can't believe I missed it, but he did see it sometimes. And to me too, like I'd walk out, I'm like, shit, it's quiet. And never seen this, heard this before, cars or anything going by. And I think that's something, that I'm going to miss too. So.
Yeah. Totally.
You want to read Omar's?
It's spending time with family, reconnecting with old friends and lovers. Ooh, Omar, you weren't supposed to tell them about
I know,
us.
Omar.
Lovers.
Letting
Plural.
things go. Omar, you're such an interesting, like, ooh, we're all like, ooh, tell us more about your
Omar's my telenovela.
I know, that's what I was
He is.
thinking of.
He is.
I thought you were gonna say Omar's my
Cha-cha
lover.
whispers. It's like, ¿Qué dijo Maria? No.
Multiple lovers.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is true.
And also leaking. Let's not forget that.
Leaking lovers. Not leaking lovers, leaking cats. This is a very interestingly timed next comment. Rediscovering my sense of creativity and the discipline to set aside time each day for it. I love that.
Yeah.
She's doing what we were talking about, which is like, I'm
Yeah.
doing this. I'm not going to go clean my underwear drawer. I'm going to sit down and make this thing.
So, and
You're
Chris,
welcome. It'll drop on Wednesday.
Yeah. And that's a
I love it.
podcast.
I know.
So
I figured it was.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the song. We'll come back and please add more comments and yeah. Oh, see, Omar's always a Cha-Cha. That's why Cha-Cha Whispers is that's the name, Cha-Cha Whispers, right? So let me come back here real quick and start off with the techno part. Okay,
I'm going to be going full cat lady over here.
your cat lady.
Yeah. Oh, like full on. Like I'm done pretending I'm not a cat lady. So I'm just gonna go for it.
How many do you have?
17. I'm just kidding. No, I have 3. But
She's like, no, I just have 10. Not even.
it's only 10. Honestly, we had a lot of pets growing up. Like someone the other day put up a picture of every dog they'd ever had, and she was like in her like up there, and I've had way more dogs than her, and that's because we grew up with just tons of animals. So Ruben, why am I talking about this? Put on your song.
Can you hear that?
Because he's trying to find it.
Give me 1 second.
I always had cats too.
Did you?
Yeah, I always had like one cat. Like in all the places I've lived, we always had a cat.
Was it the same cat?
I have a dog.
Was it like the same cat for a long time, or have you had lots of cats?
No,
over
always
your life?
different cats. Oh my gosh, how many cats have I had? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. That's like 6 different cats, but not all at once.
Oh my gosh!
Is
I
that
think
the?
I've had 2 at once for the most.
Is that how many?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
I miss cats though.
Do you
Like,
not
I
have
don't-
one right now?
No, I love dogs.
You can love both.
So funny. I mean, I love cats too, but I'd rather have a dog.
You know, I gotta go, you guys. I thought I liked Leela, but I gotta go. Because, I mean, like, she'd rather have a dog, so it's been real.
I like big dogs, like not little dogs. I've tried having chihuahuas. It didn't work out.
They
See,
just weren't your vibe.
So
And we have
now, yeah.
more people answering your question. So.
Gratitude. My 18-year-old grandson has moved in with me, and we are growing together. Each of us imparting our knowledge on each other and learning how to create a great space for one another. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I'm guessing that's her grandson in the picture. Not that she necessarily wants everyone looking at it, but I love that. That's really cool because, yeah, I mean, what better time to like kind of reach across the divide of like maybe generations and be like, hey, Grandma, this is what it means when people say like shout out. Like they don't say shout out anymore. They say,
Yeah.
Remember earlier you were saying, is that what the kids say?
Yeah.
Shout out. I love that.
See?
What do the
Colleen's
kids say? I don't even know.
cat. Colleen is grateful for a cat during this time.
Oh.
I'm also grateful for all of the beautiful art Colleen has been making. You all have been making. I love following all of you. It's like, I feel like that's actually maybe a gift of quarantine. Maybe because I'm making more of your friends, Ruben. I'm like more artists on my and just inspiring. You're pretty cool. I don't want to make your little fluffy feathers any bigger, but you have some cool people in your life. And I think whenever you see someone creating, it like inspires you to do it. What were you going to say?
What happens when you get older, you start to realize that there are certain people you don't want in your life. Those are negative people, right? So I always tell people if I am hanging out with them, if I can, they're pretty much really good people, and everybody here is awesome, great. I recommend them for everything. So, as you go, there's times where, Melissa and I talked about this, when is it time to let go of relationships, friendships that don't work and, and anything like that, and sometimes they come back around, and it's okay. But I've learned in my life that, there's certain people that can give me certain things and that's okay too. But, I don't hang out with assholes anymore. That's a long gone.
Yay!
Yeah. I mean, that's long gone, I'm never, and so, I surround myself with good people, just because it's much better for me too, for my mental state. I don't have to like go into drama or go, talk about this and sometimes, it is okay to say goodbye to a friendship. I believe, and just
Yeah.
love it for what it was. So,
That's
and,
true.
and yeah, and
And
sometimes,
that's okay.
yeah, because I know, and we're talking about this, depression is the past, right? When you're like lamenting about the past, I should have done this, or regrets, all this stuff. Anxiety is the future, which you don't know what's going to happen. And really, we want to live in the moment, like right now. Right now, everybody's on here is beautiful. They do great stuff, and I think that's why this whole group is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I could have pushed it to be, oh yeah, I'll put it on Sack, blah blah blah, to grow it. But honestly, maybe it will one day. But at this point, it's just really it. The purity of it was just to hang out with everybody and kind of bridge that gap between people that don't know each other. And Melissa's awesome, right? And you're awesome too, Leila, but um, no, I mean, you both are, but I'm saying,
Gee,
like,
thanks.
no, and I'm just saying,
You're cool. Oh
No,
I
I
yeah,
know
know.
I'm
Leila, you're
awesome,
cool.
Ruben. I don't need to tell you. You don't need to tell me I'm awesome. I know I'm awesome.
Oh my God, he
No.
loves you. He
but I,
sings
but
your
I,
praises all the
but
time.
I'm saying that we're all, we all get along because there's a string, right? A string
There's
of
what?
like, you don't have to. I mean, Leila, we've dealt with so many artists that are assholes. I'm sorry, right? Yes, I told
This guy.
someone like the reason. And I told someone like being in a band, I've always never talked to the lead singer because the lead singer is always the ass of the band, right? They're always like, stuck up, and even though they weren't talent, I mean, some people are talented, right? But doing an art show with the solo, I mean, an art show with collective art show is like doing a show with a bunch of lead singers, and I only hang out with the nice people of the group. I only talk to the, I don't need to, inflate your ego. I'm like here to talk to you as a person. I love your art, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not a good person, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just go do your thing and be with those people. And I know, Leila, because we've dealt with people like that before.
Yeah.
And so, and there is a lot of good people out there. So, but that's that's the case, and that's why I love this group, because I know that everybody here, I would totally give a big hug and back. So
Yeah. And okay, I want to mention something kind of on the same note. So we had a comment earlier on the community page, which I share this broadcast there, and I didn't catch it in time, but when we were talking about masks earlier and saying how respectful it is to wear one, and how, if really kind of the undertone of what we were saying is if you care about other people, you're wearing a mask. And this person said, a lot of people that want to wear masks like can't for various reasons, and it's not out of disrespect, it's not out of, they had like an alternative opinion and obviously hurt by it, and then deleted their comment pretty quickly. So I didn't want to bring attention to it because I don't think they wanted me to. But the reason I'm bringing this comment up isn't even, it's not even about the masks. It's saying that if ever these wonderful people that we do know and to engage with on these shows and in our lives, like we do disagree sometimes, we do act like assholes sometimes, and I'm not saying we were or they were. Like, this is a great example of like both can be true, like this person really feels this way and we really feel this way. But maybe that's kind of the paradox of what we're living in right now, is that how am I trying to say this? That ultimately, I am so grateful for the beautiful people that I've gotten to meet through you, Ruben, and just in general, during this time, being in a virtual space more, you get to connect with people more, and really, really good people that we love also have differences, and like that's okay too. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
and it is okay. It's most likely it's your family too. I'm like, how many times, I'm like, okay, how do I navigate this? I know what
yeah.
you're, I know what you're gonna say. I know how you're gonna feel. It's just sometimes, you know, you just got to let it go, and then, you know, come back a day that you can explain it, you know. And you're right. We can't just because we disagree cut people off. You know, that's part of the
Yeah.
process. You know, to be able to sit there and talk to people about it. And you know, I've actually, you know, trained myself to sit there and be able to, and not a good training, because my training came from my kind of psychologically abusive father, to be able to sit there and listen to all this stuff, you know. But it also allowed me to sit there in a kind of in a debate or an argument, to not to react, you know, because a lot of people are reacting from hurt and pain, you know. And so, you know, no matter what they say, and if you're able to weather someone's barrage of words, everything else, they're most likely the next day are going to be the one to apologize to you. You know, if you don't react and you know, and attack them how they're attacking you, and that happens all the time, you know. So
And also,
you know,
just to be clear, this person wasn't at all attacking. Like, they
no,
were
no, no.
obviously okay.
Yeah,
I want to make sure I'm not like misrepresenting what they said.
no,
They were just like, hey, we're not
I
all
took it there.
assholes.
I took it there.
Okay. We stopped
Yeah.
my point, and then I completely agree.
No,
And
but you know, but I just went to more of an extreme point of, like, you know, of you know, not people not communicating, you know, with each other, and just cutting each other off, because that's not going to work either. You know, if we cut each other off, there's no one to talk to anymore. You know, even though, I mean, I love this group, because, you know, like, you know, we'll go back to years. You know, I've known Marlo for years, you know, and I know that he's in, you know, getting to the medicine wheel and the Native American thought. So I know where he's coming from now, you know. So, and then Colleen, you know,
I ended my best friend since I was 9 years old 3 years ago, and it was devastating, but it was the right decision. Maybe we will meet again. That is a really great example of the paradox. And really, I don't know if she said that earlier, but the boundaries you were talking about earlier, about how sometimes we outgrow people, or just doesn't fit with our lives.
Or like
And
just drifts apart.
yeah, and it's okay,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's, again, you know, of course, you know, Melissa and I talked about this, you know, and I was like, it's okay, you know, it really is, you know. I'd rather say goodbye than just let it fly off and just say thank you, you know, thank you for being in my life. And I really thank everybody who crossed my path in my life, you know, all the people that, you know, I wasn't the best person, so to speak. I was, you know, I was lost when in my 20s. I was, you know, like everybody else was, you know. And I appreciate everybody who kind of, I mean, you know, not say put up with me, but, you know, understood that in my heart I was pure. In my mind, you know, I had to go through some stuff, right? We all have to. So, and same thing with friendships, you know. It's like, you do let them go, you know, because if you don't, they may not ever come back, you know. So, and like Colleen said, maybe it will come back, you know, and people will, and it will come back, because the anger goes away, all that stuff goes away, and it clears itself, and it comes back. And if it's meant to, you know, cliche, of course, but if it's meant to be, it is going to be, you know, it is meant to be. And you know, and you need it. So anyways, we'll go to a song, right? And then we'll come back and say goodbyes.
It's party.
Is that good?
good.
Is that good?
Party song?
You guys, I have to go pee, so I'm gonna just pop off while you're on that song.
Oh yeah. It's just Lila's dance party. Let me find Lila's dance party.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't know. It's called Water Vibes. So go pee, go potty, go potty.
I've been staying
That's right,
strong on my
Chris.
feet, keeping my heels below my knees, but I can't help feeling weak. Every day I wake up, it's harder to breathe. And we've been on the same grid, but you feel so distant. Is it distance that's killing my vision? I can't see a way making it through this. So tell me you feel the same. Can we just get to the end? I just wanna feel again. I think we've been moving too fast. I just wanna relax. I just wanna relapse. Just wanna think we've been moving too fast. I can't really keep up. I just wanna relapse. Just wanna, yeah. Think we've been moving too fast. Moving too fast. Think we've been moving too fast. Moving too fast. Think we've been moving too fast. Moving too fast. Think we've been moving too fast.
Happy birthday.
Moving too fast. Real shit, I ain't got a lot to say. These games that we play only make our hearts ache, and we act like we ain't asked for this pain, and we act like we were willing to change, knowing damn well
Here's
that we
Lila.
weren't, knowing damn well that we are cursed, knowing damn well
Funky Chicken is coming back.
yourself. Someone's too immersed in their own pain to go and fucking feel yours. And my heart wasn't broke, I'd have gladly healed yours, but this ain't real love. We are just children pretending to be grown, so maybe we can feel love, but this ain't that. It's delayed indifference, and I wish it was different, but it just isn't. We're both looking outside ourselves to try and fix parts of our souls that have wandered up within us.
I think we've been moving too fast. I just wanna relax. I just wanna relapse. Just wanna think we've been moving too fast. I can't really keep up. I just wanna relapse. Just wanna, yeah.
Frida.
Get it, girl.
That's right. Well, Fucking Chicken is coming back in a second, right?
Eventually.
She
Yes,
will.
but-
She's going to the bathroom. So, which goes? How
There
does
she
a
is.
chicken go to the bathroom? That's the question. Sorry.
Not how, but why. So here's the thing: is I
Yeah.
went to the bathroom and then I said, they sound like they're doing good. I'm gonna go get some chocolate.
That's right. I
And I
need some
did that.
chocolate.
Where's my chocolate?
And I just
So,
threw it to the screen.
so Frida took your spot, by the way.
She's pretty hard to replace. Like,
There was some scandalous part where she actually whispered sweet nothings into a woman's, so I don't know what that's about. That would
And
I'd have to
then
ask.
they went inside.
Yeah, I would have to ask Cha-Cha Whispers. Cha-Cha Whispers, are you out there? Because I know you know the gossip out there. Los chismos. Chismes.
I know
Right?
you know the gossip.
Yeah.
What
So-
is the gossip? What is the 411?
And good night, Chris. And everybody said good night to Melissa, of course.
Good night.
Good night.
They all thought I was gonna be gone forever. Good night, you guys.
Is that a is that a gremlin on Cha-Cha's?
Oh my god, are you just saying that?
That gets more, yeah.
Because
Uh-oh.
everyone every week is like, what's on his picture?
Cha-Cha, is that what is that?
It's a dog.
What is
Are
the
you
question?
seriously saying that, Ruben?
It's a dog with sunglasses,
Am I?
no?
No,
Isn't it?
he's
Looking
not.
at it.
He knows. You have heard too many people ask, I don't know. Am I just, yeah, that's a dog. You know it's a dog. You know it's a dog.
Yes, I know
And-
it's a dog. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just starting stuff, as people say.
Gotta be starting something.
That's right.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. So that's what the kids are saying. these days.
Starting, that's like, yeah. All right. So I
Happy birthday to Lita on your,
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful birthday.
Yeah. And then we want to get a close up of your hat that you made, by the way.
Oh, here we go. Wait, which way do I turn?
Say.
I love how you're like, we have this word.
Which way do I turn? It's on
That
this
is cool. Look at
The
that. Was it
guitar.
for like a Halloween costume or?
So I made it for the Crocker Art Museum had Alice in Wonderland theme during one of I would
I
always
love
go
that.
to what's it called? The Art Mix every Thursday or every I think it's
I
first
think it's
Thursday
monthly.
of the month. Yeah. And they have a different theme. And so they did it Alice in Wonderland. And so
Aw.
with friends we decided to make hats and I even have like a little bow tie. It's so cute. Like,
It's so cute, you guys.
so cute. I had the whole outfit. I ended up I went shopping at a thrift store and I found this red blazer with like sequins all over it. And I was like, that's perfect to wear.
Oh my god. That is perfect.
We had so much fun. And everyone was dressed up. Like everyone was different characters from Alice in Wonderland. It was pretty cool.
I love Art Mix because it's like an excuse to get
Yeah.
wacky and crazy when it's not
Yeah.
Halloween. But I was just thinking that like that's kind of what this
Miss
show
it
is
so
too.
much.
Because like people can come and wear whatever they want and wear like I think like I don't usually wear this.
Virtual
you know?
art mix.
Oh my god, yeah. Virtual
That'd
art
be so
mix.
fun.
You
We
should
all
do
could
it.
share our costumes.
Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's how
I
people,
miss
you
art
know.
mix so much. It's so much fun. I've gone which ones have you gone to?
Gosh, what was the theme? I dress like I'll usually just wear whatever's convenient for me. It like won't always. Oh my God, why are you showing cats? Because that's my favorite thing.
I went to one, I think it was like Glow or something. I think it was called Glow. And we all wore like glow in the dark paint and
Oh,
glow
fun.
It was so much fun. I loved
Oh,
it.
I went to disco. I know I went to disco because there was a ton of like big poofy oh my goodness. Is there a kitty in that box? Oh,
Really
oh.
with cat videos.
This is awesome. Ruben,
Anyway.
did you just find this?
Yeah. Of course.
Oh. Well, I have my own. I'm gonna make my own cat videos tonight. All right, you guys. I have to go pump, so I'm gonna have to sign off.
Okay.
I love you all.
So we're gonna say goodnight, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. It's always awesome. I know that it was a weird show. Like we're very weird, but you guys are always so
fun.
super fun. Yeah.
It was perfect.
Thank you, everybody. Came on.
It was.
Bye.
Hey, and Leela, thank you again for all the masks that you're making and just the art that you're
no
putting out
problem.
into the world. It's awesome. And happy birthday.
We'll be back.
I'm gonna throw one of my new ones. Oh
my gosh, have fun.
No pares. I love it.
Those are so nice. So wait, let me ask you really fast. Do you ship those? Like people don't come pick them up?
Yeah, I ship them everywhere.
Okay.
The furthest I've shipped one to, I think, is Germany.
Oh my God. Wow.
I know,
okay.
Right?
That's
awesome.
Like
2 weeks to get there.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Let me ask you a question. Can you hear this real quick before we go so I can fade it out? Well, I was going to hit it. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Just tell me if you can hear anything.
He's just going to fart. Let me just give a real clean
Let me know
fade.
if you can hear this.
I ate a burrito earlier.
Can you hear anything? No?
I don't hear anything.
No.
Really?
All right. My heart beating.
Well,
Nada.
nothing. Okay.
I saw something for a second. Was it because you took it off the screen?
I saw something.
I did.
That's how it goes on there. So, sorry.
It's okay.
Soon we'll be able to afford a technician, guys. So, all right. Well, good night, everybody.
We can hear that.
Yeah. So, good night. We ended it with everything else. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Lita.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
My skin. I like the way it felt. Cause when I look into the mirror, I wish I saw somebody else.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
What?
I wish I had a boy with some six-pack abs and a sweet Cadillac who would take the time to call me.
You gotta send me the song.
I wish being
I'll show you the
wild went
playlist.
away the game and my brain weren't always so hollow. I wish I wasn't so insistent on staying the same, and that change didn't seem like a monster. I hide under covers, I layer like onions. Swear I'd be ogre, swear nobody loved me. Swear I'd be
Thanks
so
for coming out.
self-pity, and then even pity walked up and was like, damn dude, you need a hug.
We'll see everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. Cali Cocktail with Leela.
I'm something
back
like
soon.
Humpty. I'm a big
Monday.
walking eggshell. I crack into fragments. I used to be one piece, man. Somebody love me, man. Somebody love me.
Somebody get me out this cell. I'm so trapped inside myself.
Good night, Leela. Good night.
Trying to touch upon my skin. I like the way it felt. Cause when I look into the mirror, I wish I saw